Hello learners, welcome back again in our YouTube channel. Here we will see the William Shakespeare's one of the greatest writings, that is Julius Caesar, the tragedy of the mind in Shakespeare's Julius Caesar. So starting with the introduction of William Shakespeare. William Shakespeare is regarded as one of the greatest dramatists in English literature, no doubt in that. Shakespeare's concept of tragedy differs from classical Greek tragedy in many respects. यहाँ पे जो ट्रेडिशनल ट्रेजेडी थी और जूलियस सीजर की जो ट्रेजेडी थी उसमें थोड़ा डिफरेंस था. Shakespeare focuses on human character, moral conflict, political circumstances, but in Julius Caesar, written in 1599, is one of the most important Roman tragedies. The play bears the name of Julius Caesar. Its tragic essence lies in the downfall of the noble characters such as Brutus and Caesar himself. Though the play is Shakespeare's presentation of the conception of tragedy as a combination of political conflict, personal weakness, moral dilemma and the inevitable consequences. इसमें सारी चीज़ें मिक्स हैं. इसमें हिस्टोरिकल बैकग्राउंड भी दिया गया है जिसमें जूलियस सीजर इज़ बेस्ड एज एन रोमन हिस्ट्री और पर्टिकुलरली अकाउंट फाउंड इज प्लूटोरिच लाइव्स. शेक्सपियर ट्रांसफॉर्म्स हिस्टोरिकल इवेंट इनटू अ ड्रामा ट्रेजेडी. तो प्ले जो है वो डिपिक्ट करता है जूलियस सीजर्स assassination, the civil war that follows the downfall of the conspirators. So here the Brutus impossible balance, loyalty of a friend and duty of the republic. So यहाँ पे जो ब्रूटस है, one of the Shakespeare's major contribution is towards the tragedy is the portrayal of a noble hero, जिसका डाउनफॉल जो है वो ट्रैजिक फ्लो की तरह दिखता है. मार्कस ब्रूटस इमर्जेस एज द ट्रू ट्रैजिक हीरो. ब्रूटल is honorable, patriotic, intelligent and morally upright. He loves Rome more than he loves Caesar. He joins the conspiracy not out of personal hatred but from the fear that Caesar's growing power may threaten the republic. His famous statement reveals his motivation, not that I loved Caesar less but that I loved Rome more. So, Brutus' tragic flaw lies in the idealism and political naivety. He assumes that others are as honorable as himself and fails to understand the practical politics. He joins the conspiracy against Caesar, and later he underestimates Antony's political skill. Further, the egg-serpent dilemma. What here is seen is the writer William Shakespeare has beautifully described the scene as a serpent's egg. This is a flaw in the Brutus character. इसमें जो ब्रूटस है वो अपने आप को कन्विंस कर रहा है कि जो सांप है, सांप को अंडे से निकलने के पहले ही क्यों ना मार दिया जाए, तो वो अपने आप को एक सेक्रीफाइसियर के रूप में दिखा रहा है. उसका कंसाइंस जो है वो जानता है कि ही हैज़ डन समथिंग रॉन्ग बट ही वांटेड टू कन्विंस हिमसेल्फ. Here, Shakespeare has very beautifully presented the conspiracy against the Caesar. Here, the tragedy as arising not from evil intentions but from errors of judgment made by the fundamentally good individuals. Caesar जो है वो एक tragic figure के रूप में ब्रूटस को यहाँ पर लाते हैं and he becomes the central tragic hero. Julius Caesar himself possesses tragic dimensions. Caesar is presented as a powerful leader admired by the Roman people. However, he has been displayed as a weak person. Also, Cassius have been presented by the Shakespeare as one of the key conspirators. He also had some faith in the government and republicanism in plays central political conflict. But the downfall is, along with Brutus, Cassius is involved in the civil war that follows the assassination, struggling against the forces of Mark Antony and Octavius. Here now we see is Shakespeare combines human responsibility with suggestions of fate, supernatural elements and role of fate. The play contains the numerous supernatural signs, thunder and lightning, soothsayer's warning, Kalpurnima's dream and many more, and ghost appearance in Brutus. These elements create an atmosphere of doom. जितनी भी चीज़ें हैं ये शेक्सपियर के एक फेट को लेकर के, एक वार्निंग्स को लेकर के, सिग्निफिकेंसेस को लेके शो होती हैं। Thus, tragedy results from the interaction of fate and free will. Here, Shakespeare's tragedy, another important aspect of Shakespeare's conception of tragedy is moral ambiguity. There is no completely evil villains in Julius Caesar. Brutus acts for Rome's welfare, Caesar seeks greatness, Antony seeks justice for Caesar, and many more. So, here the Antony wanted to become the master of the divided self. Shakespeare suggests here that the tragedy often arises when good intentions produce disastrous consequences. Antony and the turning point of the tragedy, Mark Antony plays a crucial role in illustrating Shakespeare's tragic vision. जैसे ही सीजर का assassination हो जाता है, Brutus believes that he can justify the murder to the Rome people, but his repeated statement Here we can again see the architecture of the downfall. Here the four main characters are Brutus, Cassius, Caesar and Antony. The primary elegance was the Brutus's republic, Cassius's personal freedom, Caesar's is his own myth and Antony is Caesar's legacy. Hidden conflict where Brutus has some morality versus murder conflict. Cassius has patriotism versus envy, hidden conflict. Caesar has caution versus pride, and also Antony has grief versus strategy. So here the tragic consequences takes place according to them. The psychological aftermath is anxiety and guilt and troubled consciences and despair and misjudgment. Here the Brutus suffers intense restlessness post murder and the appearance of Caesar's ghost, a psychological manifestation of inescapable guilt, and the battle of Philippi. Cassius lose confidence, mistakes Tintinius safety. At last, here the Caesar now be still is the final line spoken by the Marcus Brutus when he commits suicide at the end of the play. The reasons may be he wanted to release from psychological burden, the inevitability of punishment, dignity in defeat, and resolution of conflict. So, these are some points. Later on, the framework of the Aristotelian hero is it contains the noble nature, it contains the morally good structure, and later critically imperfect. The tragic flow in the William Shakespeare's combination is blinded by an unyielding idealism that is incompatible with the brutal realities of Roman politics. Here, Brutus fits Aristotle's model perfectly. His flaw is not unchecked ambition but rather an excess of honor in the dishonorable world. So, this is the Aristotelian hero. Here, at last, the play demonstrates that political assassination does not solve political problems. Instead, it creates greater chaos and suffering. The play combines the downfall of great individuals, moral and psychological conflict, and it comes from the echoes of internal conflict. The fate is internal, the danger of pure ideals. So, the true antagonists of Julius Caesar are not political rivals but the inconceivable forces within the character's own mind. So, here the danger of pure ideals is noble intentions when combined with conflicting motives and a refusal to see reality reliably produce catastrophic results. So, Shakespeare's masterpiece remains a definitive study of human decision making, proving that the most devastating wars are those fought within. Our internal conflicts are the highest in the William Shakespeare's literature. So, this comes as the Shakespeare's masterpiece in understanding the human decision making. So, here comes an end. Thank you.